Is the screen visible, Junaid?
Yes, it is, Sameer. Chanakya this side.
Yeah, hi, Chanakya. So we can start then.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. A very good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for being here with us on this webinar on Microsoft Dynamics Business Central. We represent a company called Amy Tech, Amy Tech DMCC. We are based out in GLT Dubai. This event we are doing in collaboration with Microsoft as well as Redington. Thank you so much for coming. Let's start with the webinar today. So this will be the agenda. I will not take more than 2 minutes to tell a bit about us, so just to get comfortable. We'll talk about Business Central and Microsoft Suite capabilities. We will also talk about a little more about why Business Central in terms of compelling reasons. We will talk a little about on Business Central for different industries wherein we have seen success. Worldwide success stories are there. We will go to the application overview where we'll do a brief demo. It will not be a full-blown demo, but some insights to the application, the management reporting side, and then we leave the floor open for any kind of Q&As. Since we have a large audience attending this webinar, individual attention to the queries raised by the team here would not be very easy. So all of you are more than welcome to list down your queries in Q&A in the chat window, and my team will be assisting you shortly with that. Okay. AMY Softtech was found in India back in 2012, and we are present in Dubai, let's say a year back from here. We are a preferred Microsoft partner when it comes to Microsoft Dynamics 365 ERP, CRM, mobility, SharePoint, and Power Apps and Power Platform solution provider. We, apart from Microsoft Dynamics ERP and CRM, we do BI and analytics. We do plenty of SharePoint-related projects. Pretty soon, we are getting into big data analytics with the likes of Hadoop. And we also have, specific verticals on insurance and financial advisory and consulting services. That's a brief about us before getting into the further application. When it comes to Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, yes, it is one of the latest offerings from Microsoft, launched in the region like 1.5 years back, 2 years back. But when it comes to the product side of it, it's nothing new. It is Dynamics NAV, which has been in the market, not only in the GCC, but across worldwide since 1983. NAV has been pretty much successful with lots of success stories worldwide, and Business Central is Microsoft's offering towards the same product purely on Azure, purely on Microsoft hosting platform, which is Azure. Primarily, Business Central, the requirements of SMB sector can be easily met, whether it is supply chain, whether it is assembly manufacturing, basic projects, after sales service, education. Most of the industries are suitable, and the product is highly scalable. We have done implementations as low as, let's say, 4 to 5 users, and as high as 120 concurrent users on the same. Yeah. So with the Business Central, once we get into the product, you will yourself realize, yes, the interface is quite modern with all the dashboards and advanced reportings. Unified, when I say the interdepartmental transactions, interdepartmental reporting, workflows, everything is pretty streamlined. It actually enables the organization to go, desk-wise reporting mechanism. When Microsoft and we say intelligent, yes, it has AI-powered features. When it comes to item forecasting, you can actually access a few features of Business Central from your Outlook also, right? And when it comes to adaptable, no other solution comes as close as to Microsoft Business Central when it comes to user friendliness and adaptable, because 90% of the users we meet across day in day out They all started with Windows 98, Windows 2000. We all started with Microsoft Office. We still do. We all are using Office Exchange. Everything is surrounding from Microsoft. So the user interface is pretty much surrounded with the same interface. So users will not face much of the problems in getting adapted to the new system. Okay, that's where it is. As I said earlier, it's quite comprehensive, a single solution to remove all the silos from your operational, different applications if your organization is using. As a product, it is used by more than 160,000 customers worldwide with active 1 million, more than 1 million users. It is available on 100% cloud deployment on Microsoft Azure. It is also available on on-premise deployment as well, depending upon the customer needs and preferences. When it comes to cloud deployment, that pretty much eliminates the needs of maintaining my servers, maintaining my backups, disaster recovery. Everything is taken care by Microsoft Azure. And the pricing of Business Central licensing is inclusive of subscription on Microsoft Azure. There is absolutely no minimum user requirements to get on board to Business Central. Companies can start as low as 1 users, right? The subscription licenses of Business Central are available at 3 different categories: USD 8 per user per month, USD 70 per user per month, and USD 100 per user per month. The differences I'll bring to the table like right now. USD 70 license enables any organization to take care of, yes, financials, supply chain, sales and marketing, which is, the system has a very brief and sweet CRM capabilities as well built in. Complete inventory management, multiple locations, multiple currencies, multiple legal entities. You can open any number of legal entities, intercompany postings, consolidations, and project management side of it. When it comes to the complexities in terms of requirements of manufacturing as well as after sales service, then the USD 100 per user per month license comes into picture, wherein companies who are into manufacturing, sheet metal fabrication, advanced projects, companies who are into after sales service like automotive sector, wherein we need to have the likes of service management module, wherein we define service contracts, service orders, equipment voice history. All that facilities will come into picture with USD 100 base license. USD 8 base license, it is team member license, wherein it is specifically targeted towards management users, the users who will not be doing day-to-day transactions in the system, but at the same time, these users will have all the relevant access, in fact, all the access to all reports, all dashboards, all the profiles, historical data, and on top of it, these users can approve workflows, right? So these are typical management users with limited access to the application. That's where the USD 8 users comes into picture. When it comes to the deployment policies, we as Amy, we have done the implementations in less than 2 months' time. It's quite a rapid deployment cycle. System is easy to adopt, easy to customize and maintain. On top of it, the Power BI, which is a business intelligence tool from Microsoft, it also gets embedded within the application. So a user, when he or she is working within Business Central, the Power BI insights can also be shown within the same window. Of course, the Power BI subscription at $10 per user per month is on a separate licensing model here. And integration to legacy Microsoft applications. While working with the application, while working with Business Central, the user will feel seamlessly connected to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, directly sending emails, right? So it's very unified screens around it. As I mentioned earlier, it enables the organizations to inculcate desk-wise reporting. So every user, every department, they complete their task, the information can logically flow to the next in line through a workflow, through notifications, through attachments, you name a feature and it is there. As I mentioned earlier, the system can be rolled out to a multi-company architecture, multi-currencies are supported. We can definitely link it with the exchange rate services provided by Bloomberg or any third-party service providers. The APIs are readily available. It also has multi-language support. Arabic is also well supported. We can also customize the pages and reports, the document prints, the reports in Arabic on that side. The system has got a component for artificial intelligence, wherein it will provide timely alerts and feedbacks when it comes to procurement cycles, when it comes to item forecast, when it comes to cash flow forecasts, right? The system comes preloaded with department-wise user profiles. So it has close to 28 standard user profiles spread across 3 or 4 in finance, 3 or 4 in procurement, couple of them for sales, couple of them for marketing, a couple of them for manufacturing and process control, and a couple of them for service management. So these dashboard profiles will enable a user to quickly navigate the business functions they require and quickly see on the dashboard the relevant queues and dashboards, which are very, very important for their business function and their roles and responsibilities. To add to it, these dashboards can be further customized, tweaked, and tailored as per the likes of the customer. And once deployed, the application is very, very flexible to maintain. It's very easy to maintain. It's quite flexible to customize and include new customizations, new business processes. And as the organization moves ahead, in terms of new business ventures, new industry cycles, so the application will be there to support these different models and continuous adaptation to increasing business requirements in terms of reporting and customizations. It will be there, pretty easy to maintain and customize. This is just a summary of all the modules, not in the application areas available. It has a very solid financial management and financial reporting platform, sales and after sales service management, project management, supply chain, operations when it comes to finance, and advanced reporting and analytics side of it. We will cover all this when we go to the product after a few more slides. So this was all about Business Central. Now, since all the audience here is looking, this was all about Business Central. Let me talk a little about the Microsoft extensions. When it comes to a new ERP for any organization, it should not act only as a, let's say, departmental connection software wherein a purchase guy is doing his stuff and then immediately stores get notified. And once store is done doing his job, then finance gets to see 3-way matching and do accounts payable. This is a typical old age ERP concept. Now, with the advancement of technology, the entire Microsoft stack, it provides you not only the ERP side of it, but something here, if you see. So if you correlate this graph and these buttons to your existing IT infrastructure, you will see we are using Microsoft Teams and virtual desktop and devices for remote teamwork, especially in COVID, it has gone for a surge. We all at different levels are using Azure Security and AD. I will talk of Adapt and Automate in my next slides, which is very, very specifically Microsoft Power Apps. When it comes to sales and services, Microsoft ERP applications, Microsoft CRM, and supply chain. And then business insights and analytics from Power BI and other reporting mechanisms, right? And then as the organization goes ahead, we talk of Azure IoT, Microsoft Platform, and Microsoft 365. So Microsoft offerings will typically encompass 100% of your organization's IT requirements, not only the ERP side of it. By choosing Microsoft, we will not only make sure that today's requirements of getting onto next gen ERP is taken care of, but also the surrounding functions and integrations and APIs and other departmental functions are also well seamlessly integrated and available on the same similar platform. That's the power of Microsoft. In continuation to the previous slide, why Microsoft is Microsoft is uniquely suited to partner with you on journey because when it comes to emails, platform, hosting, ERP, analysis, and extensions, everything is available on Microsoft. End-to-end portfolio solutions for cloud, for AI, for business needs, for CRM, familiar and easy to use. They are very similar as compared to any native Microsoft applications, legacy Microsoft applications. Built-in security and lower total cost of ownership when you compare all this with the cost of infrastructure for 5 years, the cost of maintaining different systems and integrating those systems and considering downtimes across systems and integrations. That's where Microsoft stands really apart for that. On top of Business Central implementations, the customers who have achieved the a kind of reporting mechanisms and workflows in place, they are stepping up to see the data real time on their mobile devices and take advanced decisions. That's where the Microsoft Power BI component comes into pictures. Sits on top of any business application, especially Business Central. You can choose to have your automated graphs and reminders and notifications on your mobile device. It is seamlessly integrated to the backend SQL database across. Not only the ERP and reporting side of it, Microsoft also has a component to extend the capabilities of your ERP to your employees, to your business partners outside without having to invest in the full licensing cost of your ERP solutions. Just to give an example, there is a component, if you see here, it's called Power Apps. Power Apps from Microsoft is practically a low-code deployment tool. Just to put things in perspective, we have a fairly large customer in UAE who is into equipment maintenance, right? And the customer has around 15 to 18 people as full service team, and these guys are always on field. So instead of choosing $100 license for all this, field service guys, we simply built a Power App and enabled these guys to record service calls, to complete service calls, to take digital signatures of the customers, take attachments, photographs of those, machines, and upload back to Business Central. So in these fashions, using Power Apps, we can extend the basic features of your ERP, your Business Central, to all the team members and also the business partners. You can also do customer and vendor portals and integrate them back to your ERP system. Yes. So before coming into the product, when we saw the registration listing, it was quite comprehensive and quite varied in terms of the people who are attending this webinar right now. So not everybody can be pacified in this brief 20-30 minute session. So that's why we chose to highlight what we as Amy have done in different industries and how this right fitment works across different industries. The next two slides will talk about different industries where Business Central has been implemented successfully with the following benefits. Let's talk about agriculture first. We have done Business Central implementations across agriculture industry in terms of, let's say, the companies who are into greenhouse-based production as well as open land-based agriculture. We were able to achieve crop-wise, season-wise, plot-wise, greenhouse-wise P&L. There was also extensive customizations done to maintain grading and packing, and then omni-channel sales distribution for these vegetables, along with vegetables and fruits produce, along with different SKUs, different boxes, and different sales prices with different channel of customers around, right? And in a couple of places, there was in-house workshop to maintain all the agriculture equipments. The in-house maintenance was also taken care of within the Business Central part, right? When it comes to automotive sales and services, yes, we have customer success stories who are into selling of bikes, yachts, and other equipments, industrial equipments. They are also into sales and after-sales service of these equipments. So by using the solution, they were able to achieve warranty coverages, tracking of warranty, equipment-wise equipment-wise history, complete CRM cycle, engage to sell and service, right? That's where it is. We have brilliant offices in manufacturing for sheet metal fabrication, for especially engineer to order companies with all the regulatories of, let's say, JAFZA bill of entry, Sohar port, bill of entry tracking and all that. We have also done, customizations per se to track letter of credit, bank guarantees, quality assurance modules, stage wise there. When it comes to financial services side of it, Business Central has been implemented and various fintech companies around who are into insurance, who are into citizenship planning, who are into portfolio management, who are into investment management. So Business Central was used to act as a back office for my day-to-day bookkeeping, procurement, HR payroll, as well as Business Central was seamlessly integrated to my portfolio management applications and the core applications from in which the revenue was getting recorded day by day. So with Business Central, it became the single source of management reports from operations as well as back office side. When it comes to education side of it, we have both offerings. We also do offer an in-house built school or educational institute management system, but since most of the institutes already have that, so Business Central was implemented and integrated with this existing school management applications, including Power School, wherein Business Central was used to cater to the needs of financials, procurement, staff housing, admissions, integration to school portal with Business Central for inquiries, enrollments, re-enrollments, grading, fee receivables, and HR payroll side of it. We are also doing Power Apps for as a POC for one of the other leading educational institute in Abu Dhabi to have complete information from Business Central as well as the school management system for parents on Power Apps. When it comes to supply chain side of it, inventory management and warehouse management at zone, bin, shelf level, expiry tracking, the lead time calculations. It is actually at par with any of the leading applications available in the market. The system, if implemented correctly, will always ensure that we have optimum stock levels. It will give you safety stock alerts. It will also trigger automatic replenishments. We have done some extensive triggers for that. It will shoot out emails to suppliers. It will take care of your variances, and very specifically to industries like cable trading, wherein the variants and SKUs are so huge, and the running lengths are never in accordance with the kind of orders placed. So variance handling is something we have catered to in supply chain side of it, right? When it comes to fleet management and operations, the companies or any company which holds a sizable fleet in-house and does maintenance, and these fleets are used to cater to the demand of their logistics partners and customers. The fleets can be used for transporting cargo or any other service needs of your customers. With Business Central in place, we had made sure for a couple of customers that their fleet's optimum health is ensured. The service plans from the principal companies, the downtime maintenance, the truck-wise, chassis-wise, tire-wise, maintenance tracking, route-wise profitability, and whenever the equipments are plying on long routes, the trip planning along with associated costs, with resource costs, with driver and crews, and any other material and on-field expenses to be loaded, so as we would able to achieve trip-wise profitability per trip, per truck, per route, right? So that was the area of fleet management and operations. We have also catered to companies who are into oil field and rig move operations. The company is a very renowned name and a decent service provider to Petroleum Development Oman. The rig movement contracts were monitored closely in Microsoft Dynamics, and the SLA per movement was closely monitored, and all the costs were associated along with the payroll specific costs, which are very tricky in terms of desert allowance, which are very tricky in terms of oil field personnel recruitment, their stay, their short stays, and recurring leaves there. So all that cost were associated along with necessary certifications, HSE certifications, their expiries for the vehicles, for the resources, and the teams allocated for a project. All those were tracked and implemented within the business central side of it. So this should give you a decent insight of the kind of industries it can serve. Of course, there are much more. If I keep talking on the industries, a whole 1 hour session will be going in that direction only. So this was an overview of what all industries it can easily cater through. Sorry. Now let me switch over to the product insights for next 10-15 minutes so that we have some time towards some question and answer side of it. So the application, as I mentioned earlier, it is a cloud-based deployment on Microsoft Azure. As an end user, we can use the application from any device, being your laptop, tablet, mobile phone, across any browser. There are native apps from Microsoft on Google Play Store and iOS, which you can download, and the similar interface is available, right? So that's where. So what happens is, when we used to talk about ERP earlier, let's say 5 years, 7 years, or maybe 10 years back, so ERP, the whole focus was to have something which should give me static reports. My month-end board pack should be readily available. My weekly logistics report should be available. And users are dedicatedly spooling out reports and sending back to their managers, something like that, right? So that was static reports. Then the shift happened towards interactive dashboards. Yes, as an end user, I should be logging into the system and let me see the 5 or 7 most important things which I like to see every morning before I resume my work. Because these 5 or 7 insights give me a tight control of whether should I focus on the sales first, whether should I take care of any escalation from a customer, whether I should chase a supplier, or shall I immediately go and replenish my stock because I can see some forecast coming in, or whether should I pay attention to any particular equipment, because in the past 6 months, if I see, the cost of maintaining that equipment is much more higher than buying a new equipment for that sake. So interactive dashboards helped you with that. Now with AI component coming into picture, predictions. So that's where in the beginning I established Business Central has a cash flow and inventory forecasting. Momentarily, periodically, it will give you alerts on what is going to happen so that you can take actions in advance, right? And also the AI component will indicate you across certain features, recommendations. What as an end user should I do, right? So that's a paradigm shift from ERP to a complete business management application. That's where the Business Central stands apart from any other product in its league. Some wow factors I have included in the slide. Whenever your team wishes to include a new SKU, no need to fill in the details. System has an 88% accurate image analyzer. You scan the image, let Business Central handle it. It will automatically suggest you the item category, the product group, the attributes, and then you can make the categories accordingly. As I mentioned earlier, there is artificial intelligence in place. So if you see a sample screen of a purchase order, the moment I am trying to key in an item, on the right hand side, immediately it is showing me a forecast, which tells me the demand and which also enables me to change the quantities in order to meet the forecast or the sales demand correctly. These are the sample screens. We can do an in-depth demo as per the customer request in the following week. So let's go to the product in the meantime. Before I switch to the product, in case you have any other questions which needs to be answered, you can type it in the chat window. I'll be addressing that towards the end. So we are in the application now. As you see, as established, it's a subscription-based application which needs not to be installed on your physical machine. All I am accessing is through a web browser. As an end user, you will be logging into the application through your Microsoft Active Directory account. That's it. So the system, yes. The first, let me just show you the kind of user familiarity, and then let me go to the features and management reports and analytics side of it. What happens is, the moment a user logs into the application, depending upon who is the user, what department or what job function he or she is coming from, the system we can configure a predefined profile or a dashboard for that particular user. For example, the current profile, if I see, is for an accountant profile, a senior accountant profile. So the moment a finance accountant logs into the system, on the top ribbon he has his day-to-day modules wherein he needs to take actions. The blue ones are the actions which 90% of the times we'll be clicking in on, and some transactions, the complete history of reports, and then the system starts giving the insights. Yes, today 4 people are going to knock your door to collect their payments. All these cues gives you insight on your operations, financial performance. All these invoices are due today. Similarly, it is also giving you insight of few transactions which are getting due next week, so that you can plan your cash flow accordingly. If the user sits anywhere in the hierarchy of the workflow and any document is intended for his or her approval, that notifications are coming here. We have different graphs linked to the cash flow module, which can run here. We can choose the graph and change. We also have your cash flow and report inbox around here. The report inbox is a beautiful tool within Business Central, wherein we can define that if Samir wants to see, let's say, a report every Sunday morning, and why should a user spool out that report and go to Outlook and then attach that report and write all the pleasantries and share across. We can tell that system, we can pick up a report, we can assign the user, we can set up the frequency, and then that report is automatically shot out to the user and is available here on his screen every Sunday 10 a.m. let's say, or every month end or whatever day. So that's the standard feature of that. So when I talk about Power BI reports embedded, Power BI embedded section is available within Business Central. Of course, the Power BI service subscription has to be taken separately, which gets around here. Now, since we are talking about the dashboard profiles, let me quickly change and show you a couple of more profiles so that you can have a better understanding of this. So I was talking about predefined profiles. These are the predefined profiles available. Let me quickly change to, let's say, sales and marketing. The look and feel changes, and now I have my contacts, my active opportunities, my ongoing sales codes, my customers, my segmentation, my campaigns, everything, pretty much what a SFA team needs, right? If I go a little down, I have few opportunities which are in initial stage, in further stage and down. I have my sales team wise split, who is working on what all accounts. You please feel free to change the filters around. Your top 5 opportunities running in terms of values, in terms of timelines. This red is something as a sales manager I would like to see every morning. These 15 are the cases which are overdue. Either the tender dates have passed or somebody from my team has not paid attention to it. This is something very, very important as a sales manager, right? The opportunities which are due in 2 days, I should be focusing and let's push for closure, right? So the system also allows you to have launch campaigns and track campaign-wise leads, so that next year I should be able to, as a sales manager, I should be able to decide whether we should take part in EDIPEC or not, because taking part in EDIPEC will cost me $8,000 to take a 10 by 10 square feet space. And if I blow up $10,000, and if I don't get, let's say, even 7 leads, next year I'm not going to do it. So campaign-wise performance I can track within the application. Also for indirect stuff or some kind of ad hoc user tasks, there is a reporting and timesheet mechanism in the system. We can assign tasks, and these tasks are back-to-back integrated to the same task which we use in Microsoft Outlook. So tasks can be tracked, completed, and assigned within Business Central. That's it. Let me just quickly change to one more profile before I get to the demo side of it. This was sales and marketing. Just a second. Yep. So the previous profile was for the sales end, and now I have somebody who is responsible of maintaining the deliveries and head of dispatch. So the visibility here is entirely different. I have all my sales, purchase, inventory related, customer related actions. And then all of a sudden I see I have 20 sales orders which are open, and customers, if not shouting, they will start shouting, let's say by tomorrow, day after. And already the system has started to change the color from green to yellowish. And if I don't take an action here, it's gonna be turning red pretty soon for that sake. I have 5 assignments which are ready to ship as per customer demand. What are we waiting for? I can immediately log in, give instructions, let's get it going. These 15 is something which makes me concerned every day morning. And this is my organization's performance so far. Every time I deliver a sales order or a dispatch, my average delays is 9.9 days. I don't think it's acceptable. This is what we need to bring as close as to zero. System will definitely help you with that, but of course there are lots of manual inputs and interventions to it, right? That's it. My top 10 customers, top 5 customers with respect to the business I've closed so far. So this is, see my trailing sales orders, month on month, week on week, I can see that. So these were the kind of business insights I was talking earlier in my presentation, that any user or department function, whenever they log into the application, they get those 5-7 important things so that they can quickly take decisions and get going with whatever is going wrong in the operations, or what can go wrong in the operations, right? To bring it back to the control, take decisions quick. That's where these dashboards come into picture. Now these are from the operational side of it, right? Let me just go to. Let me quickly go back to finance, and then we talk a little about reporting mechanisms. Yes, I'm back to finance, the backbone of any organization, and that's where all the result of everything we are doing day to day in any software gets boiled down and stored there. That's why our friends in the accounts department, they produce board packs end of the month. Let's help them in getting those board packs faster and efficiently. So when it comes to financials, the system has all the basic bookkeeping side of it, including VAT, which is certified regions, the journals, which are again part of basic bookkeeping, the cash management, multiple bank accounts, currencies, direct debit collections, cash flow, cost accounting side of it. It also supports automated bank account reconciliations. We can import the bank statements, and system to an extent can match it automatically and give you the differences, which we can pass the JV and match with the ending balances. The system has cost accounting features, wherein very specifically to the needs of commodity trading, we have addressed in our earlier experience, wherein a deal, when it comes to commodity tradings, the hedging, the deal sizes are committed in advance, keeping in mind the fluctuating currencies, keeping in mind the lead times of the entire deal to get transacted. So we can plan the deal, we can load the estimated costs, and then track that deal backwards till execution and to get the entire P&L summary out of the deal. Very, very specific to commodity trading industries. Entire fixed assets, when predefined, your gross block categories as subledgers are predefined to your ADA accounts, your acquisition cost accounts, your maintenance depreciation, insurances, insurance policies for the assets, automated depreciation, multiple books, accruals, everything can be taken care of. Now, what happens is when it comes to reporting, there are two key functions here. The system works on the concept of dimensions, wherein with every single transaction, I can make the system, I can make it mandatory that any revenue or expense booking I'm doing, it should carry maybe one, two, or let's say all of them dimensions. For example, I'm giving a staff advance. Now, at my chart of account levels, it won't be a great idea to have staff advance Samir, staff advance Vinay, staff advance Junaid. That's three different ledgers. Let them act as a subledger. So the staff advances, my visa expenses, my revenue, all these can be tracked to multiple attributes when it comes to reporting and analytics. So we can define any number of parameters here. It can be area, business group, department, project, salesperson, and all the transactions in the system can be made mandatory that whenever the user is recording, especially on the P&L side of it, recording these transactions, either the relevant department code or relevant location code or relevant business code or relevant area code, whatever it is, comes predefined based on the setups, or the user has to select the appropriate value. If the user if the users key in the transactions with these supported values, the end result is something which I'm going to show after the screen. So there is a tool in the system which is called analysis by dimensions. So you have been using the system for, let's say, 3 months, 6 months, or maybe a year, and we need to produce financial reports and some trend analysis based on different parameters, which we have been using to key in information for the past 3-6 months, or maybe an year, depending upon how long you have been using the system. So the first reporting tool is something called So there is, analysis views which we can create based on certain parameters. Of course, this is not a training session, so I'll not focus on how to create, but I'll focus on how quickly and how diversified data slice and dice it can generate. So for example, I had created a schedule called revenue. Simply put up a code, give a description, and tell that system that from which ledger to which ledger you want to analyze. Now in the system 6100 up to 699 all are my revenue ledgers. You tell that system that from when do you want to start to analyze this data. You also tell that system that you will be interested in seeing this data, the breakdown and the slicing and dicing based on area, department, project, or maybe you can add a few more based on the we have already created. So that's done. You simply create a schedule, analysis by dimension, and now it's a time to see the matrix. I want to see, let's say, from 01, 01, 20, dot, dot, 20. As on today, what's my sales performance? And I want to see by period, which is fine. I also want to see, let's say, by monthly. Fine. All I need to do is show matrix. This is my sales performance month-on-month wise across my different revenue ledgers. Now, this is a sample chart of accounts. So revenue ledgers for education industry will be different, or automotive will be different, or rig movement will be different. But somewhere in my chart of accounts, I will have my revenue ledgers. So system will tell you during this period, month on month, this is what you have done as service revenue. This is what you have done as sales revenue. This is one you have done as contracts revenue, like that later. All that is fine. Being Microsoft, I mentioned earlier, see, export or open in Excel. Excel is finance team's best friend. So Microsoft knows it. One click, and we are out. That's it. You see, open file. So all the data has come here, wherein we can put our filters and the second thing is, if you click open in Excel, you have all the predefined filters, so you can take it to further slicing and dicing as per your needs. This is one side of it, but we are not very keen on Excel. Let me show you something else. Now, the sales manager or the finance head or the business manager prints out this report. This is fine. But then the requirement immediately comes. This is fine, but how we have performed region-wise, how much we have sold in, let's say, Northern Emirates, how much we have sold in Bahrain and Oman, and what is our performance in Abu Dhabi and Al Ain? No problems. Let's just press escape. We are on the same screen. Let's go a little up. Just fine. Yeah. So instead of seeing GL accounts as lines, all I need to do is I select area. That's it. And everything remains the same. Let me do show matrix. Same report, different display, different X, different Y axis in less than 10 seconds. Again, you can take it on Excel and present it over. Now, area is fine, period is fine. I want to see how my business units have performed. Like if you see Redington has at least 7 business units, or Amy, we have 5 different business units. How is SharePoint team performing? How is Dynamics team performing? How is the custom application team performing? How is big data team performing? Fine, not an issue. Simply press escape. Area is fine. I can choose to have my departments here. Everything remains the same. 0120 data. Or let me see till today. So area wise, and now I have my departments running on top. So the flexibility lies here. The only precondition is I want my users to key in the relevant dimensions. We will make sure the users will key in relevant dimensions. Most of them will be automating and we'll making it mandatory so that users don't skip, right? So this is the power of analysis by dimension reporting. Anything on x-axis, anything on y-axis for that sake. Before coming to the board pack reporting and different ways of generating and presenting my financial statements, let me also show you a couple of insights on my subledger side of it, right? As a sales manager, for example, let me choose any of my customers. We have only 10 minutes left, so I'll try to wind up by 12. Please bear with me. So any customer, this is my list of 2 customers. If you see on the right-hand side, it gives you a dashboard of what all transactions we have done so far, and also a statistics. Let me take the other one, which has some values. Yeah. So if you see those statistics, current balance is this, and then outstanding orders, something which has been shipped, but my finance is yet to invoice, anything on service, when was the last payment receipt, has it crossed the threshold credit limit. All that information is visible here. There are attachments. You can attach the contracts, and the VAT tier and information, the company incorporation letters, everything. Please feel free. Also, what happens is, just a second. Let me show you one. Analytics to a particular customer, wherein it gives us very important insight on how the customer trends are getting. So I have history, I have statistics. Now with this particular customer, if you see, it's all available here. This is my financial snapshot of that customer, analytics, without running into a single report. But if I go a little down, I see, yes, this year's sales is X number as compared to last year and till date sales, the total profit, the total costs. So with this customer, till date, I have made 31.2% profit average. So these insights and these trends helps us to see the customer traction and the customer stickiness to us as an organization. And if there is a, God forbid, if there is a negative trend, then we can take a corrective action to meet the customer to see whether the inclination is towards some other products which are cheaper, with some other products which are readily available, or there is an issue with my sales team who is managing these customers. Similarly, you have insights per se vendor and the insights per se items. So the replenishment side and the costing, multiple costing methods are available depending upon the industry. We will suggest what to do. 6 or 7 levels of uh, the classification parameters are available. So entire replenishment in depth, you can have your safety lead time. You can choose to have the maximum stock you can hold at any point of a time. It can give you alerts once the threshold quantity is breached. What's the minimum orders you need to maintain and all that. Also with attributes very specifically to Q and QA policies, the height, the width, dimensions, color, attributes, all that can be defined, which helps me in the QC journals, right? When dealing with this particular item. The last part before I run out of time is my management reporting, which comes with yes. The system comes predefined with plenty of schedules which we can use as a base reference and design our own schedules. But when it comes to the the reports which are commonly used for every company or balance sheet, P&L, cost of goods sold, ratio analysis, liquidity analysis, all those, they're pretty much pre-built. The insights are available. So as a as a finance team member, what do you as an end user, what you can do is, let me just show you something very quickly. Yeah, let me process edit the schedule. So the system allows you to define your own headings. You define your own financial statements. You put your own row numbers. You choose what the representation on the right hand side, and at the definition level itself, it gives you the flexibility of bringing the data from which particular ledger or a group of ledgers, right? That's your financial reporting is all about. It's completely dynamic. So as an end user from finance team, I can define my own schedule. I can choose which subsets to mix and match. I can put up plenty of formulas, put the percentages, arrive at percentages by simple workings here. And then, for example, I have just taken income. I choose to have net change, balance to date, beginning balance. All these are very, very configurable columns. With minimal training, somebody can start making the financial statements in the system just like that, right? But the beauty is not here. The beauty is the representation style of it. These financial statements we will create in conjunction with our team as part of implementation. Will also enable you. The beauty is how to represent this same thing so across multiple periods. Let's see that. So if I choose to run this report, income statement, let me just try to print this, and I choose to print from this period, let's say to this period, and let me simply put preview. So it is just giving a basic static information, which is okay to get a period's information. But this net change or balances till date is not satisfying my appetite, because my manager just now told me, Samir, you need to get me last year comparisons, last quarter's comparison, what have we done last month or 3 months before, and I do not have time. Let me come back to the system quickly on the same schedule. No problems. What I'll do is process. I'll do something called column layout, the representation of this. I'll click here. I'll create a new column called, let's say, Redington, which we are doing today. And all this I'm doing on the fly. Okay, and I tell the columns as CM, which is current month, on the fly, sir. PM, previous month. Whereas monthly, I choose what did we do as a company last year, LYCM, let's say. I also want to see where and whereas yearly. That's it. We have just now quickly defined different columns. The same report will run now, but the definition is still incomplete. Now, this was an interactive session. I could have allowed you guys to help me with this because pretty simple. Anyways, I want to see net change, which is fine. I want to see for the current month, it's fine, but I want to see the net change of previous month. So how does the system know it's previous month? As simple as that, comparison rate formula minus 1M. Get me a data from last month. Fine. Variance is something I would like to see what we have done in the current month and as compared to previous month, which is fine. Then it's not a net change. It's a formula. Formula is CM minus PM. Last year, what did we do? I want to see, but either you can choose to have minus 365D or you can choose to have simple minus 1Y. That's it. Fine. And let me compare what we are, where are we standing today as compared to last year. Again, that is a formula, which is, let's say, CM minus LYCM. That's it. Less than 3 minutes, a new way of representing your schedule is in. We just press escape. And now we'll run this income statement with that particular schedule. So I put the schedule column layout as this. Let me print. So I want to see from, let's say, 01, 01, 20, 31, 20. And let's see. The same report now is showing me data across. The report is same, but the representation changed. Okay, that's the power of financial reporting in Business Central. Now this is pretty much it is not getting restricted to the number of columns we add. It all depends what is the biggest size of printout your printer can support. I have done reports up to 16 columns for that sake. So you can choose to have your quarterly reporting, you choose to have your monthly reporting, annual reporting. You can compare with the budgets. Budgets are financial level can be defined in the system with percentages, allocation, and achievements. It gives you all kind of pullback. That's what it is. So apart from that, under financial reporting section, it has all the statutory reports on detailed trial balance, my fiscal year balances, comparison with budgets, comparison with schedules, my VAT reporting, VAT register. Everything is pretty much in sync as per the consent. Now, since we are at 12 p.m. sharp, I'd like to close this session. I sincerely believe it was helpful, and our message was clear here. We will like to assure you that as Amy, we have all the customer stories as very, very referenceable. We have dedicated core team very, very specifically managing the operations around in Dubai as well as in India. The overall size of team is more than 45 consultants, and our support levels are extremely, extremely professional and very well committed to all the customers. With that, I'd like to thank you, all of you, for your valuable time, and I will see what all question answers you all have posed so far. So I'll get back to all of you with these answers. And in a one-to-one session over email, we have your contact details. Anything else I can help you with before we wind up this session?
Thank you, Sameer, for the wonderful session. Thank you everyone for joining for the session.